Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 198 and oh my goodness, biggest jump up ever. So yeah, I'm going to have to think of something to do for this next little phase, but I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but I will keep you updated as I kind of cogitate through some interesting ideas. Today we are doing a little bit of philosophy and we are looking at page 25. Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic, or Sattva. Now this is an Ayurvedic principle that is about the foods that we eat and the effects that they have on us. So for instance, Rajasic is anger and drama and out there sort of foods that create that. So that's considered like very salty, very spicy, coffee, carbonated drinks, sugar. These are all things that create more drama, more excitement, more anger, more volatility. There's tamasic, and tamasic is old food, mushrooms. Yeah, I'm afraid so, according to Ayurveda, mushrooms are out. And stale food. So this is food that creates a lowness, a heaviness, a dullness in the body. And then there is sattvic food, which is fresh and pure food. So that is vegetables. I think meats are in the Rajasic. So it's vegetables, pulses, fruits, whole grains are all in the sattva kind of area. So obviously this is about those principles and yoga. And your yoga practice. So there are ways that we can practice which can, if you like, feed into those different states. So a Rajasic practice would be something a little bit like this. So a Rajasic way of doing salute to the sun would be so nice, big energy flowing, lots of stuff going on, and a little bit of potentially excessive drama, so that it kind of excites the body and it creates like a fuel, and that's why people tend to like sugar, coffee, alcohol, all these things, because they give us, well actually I think alcohol, well from what I know of alcohol, it should be on the tamasic side, but anyway, you get the idea that this is the kind of out, exciting area of yoga or eating that can lead us out of balance that way. And then a tamasic practice might be something like restorative yoga, but a bit much. So you just lie for a bit, you're not particularly aware of what you're doing, stick a leg up. Yeah, you know, that kind of slightly zoning out sort of way, where we're just a bit like, can't be bothered, that sort of feeling. And then a sattvic practice would be a practice that had a purity and a balance to it. So that purity and balance would look different for different people, potentially at different times. Well, no, I should come back. Let's just go a little sattvic. So a little sattvic practice might be coming into all fours, having a little stretch around, letting the back lift, arching up, extending out, making space, stretching back, getting length in the spine, and coming back, and easing out. For me, a sattvic practice is always going to be a practice that is breath-centered, so that the whole body is working together. So rather than it's not about how fast I did that or what poses I did, it was about how it felt for me. And how it felt for me was like, okay, I'm in my place, I'm in the right place for me right now. So the thing that I almost started talking about a little bit too early was the idea that there are times for all of these things in terms of a yoga practice. And I guess, you know, like in terms of eating, everyone's different, but you know, like if I go to a wedding, I'm going to eat all the food that's out there. all the rajasic, the tamasic food, a little tiny bit of sattvic if you're lucky, but not usually. But that's a good time for that for me. But everyone's different. It might be that you really like rajasic food and that's what's working for you at the moment. So let's come back to the yoga practice. So regardless of whether you decide whether in terms of yogic principles you should be eating sattvic food 100% of the time, or whether it's the majority of, or whether it's balance of, I'm bringing it back to how you want to practice yoga and how you do practice yoga for yourself. So that when you're thinking about your practice, if you are feeling really, really heavy and low, I would say initially it's good to really sit there, to really notice that. So if you come onto your back and you're like, oh, or onto your mat and you're just like, boof, nothing much going on, I wouldn't say go out into rajasic practice, push through it, find your sattva by going over the hill. I would say initially settle back into that, really settle back into that, so you're very, very aware of the sensations within the body and if there's other stuff that's going on with you, because oftentimes when I'm practicing it will be my body, but it could be that it's your mind. It could be your mind going, I am had enough of all these things and I cannot even move because my head is doing so much. So it depends on your particular balance for that one. But I would say if you're really, really tired, come into that tired space, be that tired space, but ask yourself what is going to lead you to a more sattvic, more balanced place. So usually in a time of great exhaustion and tamasic overload, this would be a fantastic thing to do, to settle yourself onto your back, knees a little bit bent, pelvis on the floor, hands out wide. So here you are doing a very restorative pose and you would focus in on your breathing and just allow it to be, and then gently encourage it to get a little bit wider, a little bit freer. And then from here, if you are here for enough time, you'll find that at a certain point in time you just don't want to be here anymore, that you've done it, that you've had enough and that you're ready to move again. And when that happens, you'll probably find that you can come immediately into a more balanced sort of a place. Also, if you are feeling angry with super loads of energy, I would not say sit yourself down on your mat, go through the pain of sitting really still when everything in your body is telling you to move, move, move. I would say move, move, move for a bit, and then notice how you can even it out by allowing yourself to express that need for movement, need for out, go, do, do, do. That then after that you can come back to your more sattvic version of you, and through the years that may change. So through the years it might be that you start your yoga practice on year 0 and you're doing it very fast, and then you're doing it very slow, and then you're doing it very fast again because you're excited and your energy levels are really raw. And it might be by year 5 you're like, oh, now I have my own practice that has a balance to it, and that there will be times when you move faster, times when you move slower, and that you will probably find that your yoga practice and you become somewhat more in balance or have some more of a flow to it. If you are having a tamasic overload and you are really needing to move, I would definitely recommend Salute to the Sun. So Salute to the Sun is a nice morning practice to wake yourself up. Hands come up and overhead. Let's do tamasic, so we're going to do a little bit faster than I feel like doing it just now. So the hands have come up, they come down, they stretch up, stretch out the other side. Walk the hands away, shoulders or hips come down a touch, hips come back up, stretch the leg up, bring the leg in, down through the feet, up through the hands, down to the floor, and stretch all the way up and down to the heart. And I would suggest doing that, well, you can do it as many times as you want, but for me, doing 3 times on each side, 3 to 5 times on each side, that's how I probably slightly slower than that, but that's how I quite like to wake up my yoga practice. But it might be that at a certain point in the day you just need to move. You really need to move, and that through that, after doing that, your body goes, now I can relax because I have released some of the energy, the movement that was needed in my body. And then you can come back to your sattva right now, because your sattva is where you feel settled in yourself, so that you feel that you are steady, whole and alive. So to feel steady is not enough. To feel alive can be a little bit unsettling. So steady and alive. That's my version of sattva for you today. I hope you have a super day. We are on day 198. I cannot believe we've got here. I really cannot believe it. I'm well chuffed. Cannot believe it. And I'm going to be thinking of my next 2 days, and I've no idea what I'm going to do for them, but I'm going to do something that's different. God only knows. Have a super day, and I hope you notice your Rajasic, notice your Tamasic, gently ease yourself in towards the centre and your sattva. Thank you.